Obamacare and all the conundrum that goes along with it doesn't seem to get any better. Now, Senator Gillibrand admitting that we all knew, quote, the president was lying about Obamacare. She actually was on The Week and had this to say when asked if, she was shocked by the revelation that so many people would be losing their care, et cetera, et cetera. Take a listen.
Do you feel misled by Obama?
He should have just been more specific, because the point is, if you're being offered a terrible health care plan that the minute you get sick, you're going to have to go into bankruptcy, those plans should never be offered.
So were you misled?
He should have just been specific. No, we all knew. The whole point of the plan is to cover things people need, like preventive care, birth control, pregnancy.
The important part, what Senator Gillibrand said, was right there at the end. She said, we all knew. We all knew the plan. The whole point of the plan is to cover things people need, like preventive care, birth control, pregnancy, and whatnot. So the fix is in now. The president wants to, if you got a lousy, subpar policy, you can keep it for another year, one more year. But they all knew, according to the senator.
I find it interesting that the senators who are up for election this term in 2014, in November, are the ones who are pushing back, saying, we unrolled this wrong, we have to rethink this a little bit. But senators like Kirsten Gillibrand, who's not up this term, is a little bit more aggressive, saying, we knew what we were doing, they knew what we were doing, but it'll all be okay over time.
To your point, Eric, Senator Gillibrand, and she actually responded to the question, well, is this just about the re-elections? And she indeed did say she was just responding to what the constituents in her area were saying. So they're hearing the battle cry. So it seems as though to many that their actions and words are not matching.
Yeah, no kidding. We heard that by the end of this month, the Affordable Care, make that the Not So Affordable Care Act website, will be up and running for a vast majority. Well, now over the weekend we have discovered that a vast majority means it will work for 80% of the people who sign on.
So they say.
If you're Amazon.com and 20% of the time you get it wrong, how long are they going to be in business here?
Not only that, if you're CEO Obama, not President Obama, and it's Obamacare Inc., not Obamacare, the redistributive law, this guy would be fired. If you stood in front of your shareholders or the board of directors and said, I didn't really know it wasn't going to work, and we'll get it fixed eventually, they would carry him out. They would absolutely have a shareholder revolt and say, we're done with this guy. Let's find someone that could get this done. But we can't.
You know what, Eric? I think Nancy Pelosi is sick and tired. Remember, she really was the architect of this thing. Call it Pelosi care rather than Obamacare. She's sick of all the people hounding the government about how it's all screwed up. She refers now to the controversy around Obamacare as just a hoop-de-doo. Here she is on Meet the Press.
When people see what is in the bill, they will like it, and they will. And so while there's a lot of hoop-de-doo and ado about what's happening now, very appropriate. I'm not criticizing. I'm saying it took a great deal for us to pass this bill.
Really?
Wow.
Hoop-de-doo. Talk about, today, I believe USA Today is a story of a 54-year-old woman distressed because in the process here of this interim, she actually reached out to her customer service representative at her insurer, and she said, she's going to maybe have to wait a full, 45 more days to even get some answers. You have people distressed, losing the coverage that they loved. And when is 80% good enough? Wasn't the initial promise that everyone was supposed to be taken care of here? And now 80% is good enough? Why are we continuing to lower the bar time and time again?
How about this? They've enrolled about 106,000 people so far, only 26,000 through the website, but 5 million people have lost their coverage. So a lot of hoop-de-doo. 4.9 something million people are now out uninsured because of Obamacare, not more people insured.
Dave Camp, the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee, he took exactly what you just gave, those facts, and he put it a different way. He said that the number of people who have had their plans canceled is 185 times higher than the number of people who have actually signed on.
So what's the hoop-de-doo all about?
Through the Affordable Care Act. Yeah, I know. So anyway, also it looks like there's some suggestion maybe the president needs to clean house at the White House. Do you think? Because he says he was kept in the dark about so much stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about
He's always kept in the dark. He learns about
That's
it
the way
in
they
the
work.
media. He heard about Benghazi. He heard about the IRS. He heard about all these things
Not us,
in the
though.
media.
We are always updated. You know why? Because Heather Nauert is here every morning to bring us some wonderful headlines.
Good morning to you. Hope you guys had a great weekend. Speaking of hoop to do, Elizabeth, I know you were watching NFL last night, right?
Yes,
How about that? The Bears-Ravens game, the delay there because of the storms. And then coming out of Buffalo, we had this, and we've got some shocking new video to bring you this morning. It is the moment that a fan plunges from the third deck of Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo, New York, during last night's game between the Bills and the Jets. Look